Hello, guys. Today we are going to talk about the difference between 3 points, 1 point, and no point. This is Game Time Banter.
सो बार्सिलोना हार गई।
वो बोलते हैं ना कि कुछ मैचेस के बाद हम्बलिंग चाहिए होता है थोड़ा सा टू स्टे ग्राउंडेड। ऐसा हमेशा क्लाउड नाइन पे नहीं रहना होता है। It was one of those matches.
ये मुंह से सुपारी निकाल के बात कर रहे बाबा
नहीं यार,
ये कुछ बोलने नहीं हो रहा है बार्सिलोना फैंस
नहीं
को।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, seriously it was a bad match. I mean, from the moment you saw कि Barcelona went into this game, they were very fatigued. And I'm not using this as an excuse, but genuinely वो चीज़ है because you've had such high intensity games over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and even if Barcelona had another 60 minutes to play in this game, still वो नहीं जीतते. That is the extent to what I'll go and say that we had a bad game. Because I think in this entire season, or for a lot of seasons combined before this was the only goal where we had 0 shots on target.
Okay. So, you are saying that it was something you were not able to win, but a lot of Barcelona fans were complaining that it was not the correct refereeing decision which cost you the points.
See, that was there, okay, I agree. मतलब people are calling it a robbery outright. कि
Yeah,
okay,
exactly,
it was a
that's what-
robbery
yeah.
and हाँ वो 3 points चले गए. But I feel कि okay चलो मान लेते हैं कि वो गोल काउंट हो गया, ठीक है. Honestly speaking, the way Sociedad played and the way Barcelona played, scoreline 1-0 नहीं होना चाहिए था. Scoreline probably 2-0 या 3-0 होना चाहिए था. We would have lost by at least 2 or 3 goals. तो अगर वो गोल काउंट भी हो जाता ना, हम शायद 2-1 या 3-1 हार जाते. तो ठीक है, चल उस पॉइंट को बाजू में रखो यार. इट्स ओके, यू डिड नॉट गेट अ गोल दैट यू स्कोर्ड, बट देन यू शुड हैव द कैरेक्टर टू गो बैक इनटू द गेम एंड देन स्कोर अनदर गोल. And again, I don't want to say that the players did not have character because, of course, you're coming back from such a tiring 2 or 3 weeks of football. So I think, yeah, it's fine. It's been like the graph has gone down now, but we'll be back.
But you mentioned this. Flick has a tendency to play very high intensity football. So is it the case that what is happening is that the players are getting fatigued not just from the period of football but also from the point of the type of football that they have to play? Is it too demanding on the team?
It is, and this was a big concern that a lot of people raised when Flick was appointed. कि क्या बार्सिलोना के players वो sustain कर पाएंगे when you are playing that kind of football? And I think Flick is trying his best to inculcate the type of training that is required in training sessions to play that kind of match. मतलब भाई resistance band लगा रहे, चालू है, strength training जोरदार चालू है. But ठीक है, somewhere it is going to come back and haunt you. कि okay fine, you are not able to play at that level. I think it's a matter of time, and I trust Flick.
Plus, on that point, it also inculcates the mentality because we saw the picture of Pau Kubarsi, who had 10 stitches and he still played with a mask on. So that at least inculcates the mentality amongst the youngsters for sure.
Definitely. But moving on to the other side, Real Madrid with a 4-0 win. And we were talking about it, was it in the last video or the one before that how Barca had a 9-point lead. And Real Madrid at that time had a game in hand. I believe they still have that game.
They still have a game.
And now the gap's down to 6 points.
See, I'm not concerned about La Liga.
Yeah, but it could suddenly be out of nowhere. The gap is down to 3 points. Effectively the gap now is down. Assuming that Real Madrid do win the match, it's down to 3 points.
Yeah.
And suddenly your big gap has evaporated out of nowhere.
I mean, that's what they say, right? It takes one bad match day to kind of, and who better than PL teams to know?
Yeah.
They have cutthroat competition, right? So it's high time that La Liga gets some kind of cutthroat competition. But no, I think Madrid really needed that win today. Yesterday, I'm sorry. Because after losing 2 games at home at the Bernabeu, and that too, they were humiliation. I mean, you have to accept it. Come on, yeah, Barcelona ke saath, and then with AC Milan, they really needed that Osasuna win. So, ठीक है, I think I'm happy to see that Madrid is getting back. Again, a sad match for them because they had 3 major injuries. So Rodrigo, Lucas Vazquez, and Militao. Militao, in fact, is a season-ending injury.
Yeah, ACL.
Yeah, a second ACL for him in 2 years. I'm not sure if it's on the same leg, but either way, that is, as an athlete, that is something you don't.
Yeah, just as a football fan, it's something that you don't like to see players getting injured that way. So yeah, I mean that was one, I think, flip side that probably Madrid are taking from that game. But otherwise, good to see that they are back in form. हमारे लिए थोड़ा ज्यादा कंपटीशन बहुत इजीली नहीं जीतने ला लिगा.
अच्छा अभी
I
ये
don't think
excuses
you guys
शुरू
need
हो
to worry about it because you have thrashed them, so you cannot do it again.
Maybe. Well,
गए. Well, you don't know, they can thrash Madrid, but then they lose to Sociedad.
नहीं यार, seriously. I mean, yeah. And it are matches like these. मतलब Sociedad था, and इसके पहले का जो loss था, that was against Osasuna. That was also at a hostile stadium like the Al Sadar.
Yeah.
कल भी वही था. It was at the Anoeta Stadium, and Emmanuel Iguasil. He's a great manager. To be very honest, he was one of the managers who was on Barcelona's list when Xavi Hernandez was sacked. So if not for Flick, it would have been that this guy was probably managing Barca. So again, bad game from Barca, but we'll bounce back. But enough with me. Yeah. Let's come to the Premier League.
Yeah,
A
that's
second
the
draw on the bounce for Chelsea.
big draw for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Big 1 point we got
Big 1
at home against Arsenal.
It's a
Actually,
big 1 point.
see, when you are coming from a season after finishing sixth, you know that at like going into the international break at third, it's very great. Like I never dreamt of that, but it was a good game. Especially we are beating the allegations of being the Cold Palmer FC because he actually hosted last night, but still we went on to play a very
This
massive.
becomes, I'll interrupt you on that. This becomes the third running weekend, I think, where Cole Palmer has gone into hiding.
See,
We
it's
praised
fair.
him. We praised him, and then he's gone.
But every time we talk about this also, that he goes into hiding into big matches.
Yeah.
So in this season, of course, last season he was actually scoring. He scored a hat-trick against United. He scored a couple against City.
United big team ki tarah.
No, against City as well he has scored. So in this season, same thing. Like he is the best player. The spotlight is on him, and obviously the opposition knows. So they are marking him tightly. Yesterday it was pretty much like Eden Hazard 2016, if any of you remember that. Ander Herrera marked him throughout the game. So yesterday it was something like that. He was marked throughout the game, and he had a few chances, but again he fluffed. But overall the team played good. So
But are you satisfied that playing at Stamford Bridge you were only able to get away with a draw?
see, the flip side of it is we might have, because it was a very closely fought game. The first half was very tactically, placed. Both the managers were not giving away a lot of, chances. But second half, there were few mistakes, few referee calls as well. So it was a very tactical game. So these games usually can go either way. So
Right.
it's better to get 1 point, and we are at third position. So that's very important.
That's the biggest positive I
Yeah.
think for you guys.
See, so we are not aiming for the title. Let's be realistic.
Oh.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's a realistic prediction to say that they aren't even.
This
for
is
the title.
so
Life में हमेशा ambitious रहो यार.
ambitious.
Ambitious road, delusional नहीं.
Delulu is the soul of my friend.
That's a great line. But yeah, so see, this is Enzo Maresca's first season in Premier League. Let's not forget that. He was managing in Championship last season. So if you keep all of these things in perspective, it's pretty good start. And now that we have played, I think 4 out of the top 5 teams, the big 5 opposition, and just Spurs is left. So I think if we get 3 points against them, it's just the smaller teams we have to worry about, and top 4 can be a easy.
I'll kind of agree. I'll roll in kind of a compliment for Chelsea here. I was very skeptical of them going into the season. Like I was like they won't even finish in the top 6 this season. It was a very bold prediction from me given their squad troubles. You guys have a squad of about 42 or something. Those squad bana ke rakhe. But the way you guys have performed, and even how Maresca has performed, given he has no Premier League experience, I expected him to be a manager like Company, who kind of basically flopped. But he's done very well. So I mean, kudos in that sense. And if you guys keep it up, the top 4 race this season is going to be interesting
Super
as
spicy.
hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all of this middle, like the middle medal we have in the Premier League, it's going to benefit just one club who's sitting right at top, Liverpool, getting another 3 points.
Going into the
हम तो थोड़ा
international
बाद
break.
में आते हैं.
नहीं बात में क्यों अभी बात कर रहे
आर्सेनल की पहले बात करते हैं.
Oh yeah.
The serial bottlers again.
I mean,
From their perspective, they would be fuming that they got a draw against Chelsea.
again, as you said, I think Arteta also will agree to the fact that Chelsea are not that easy of a team to beat, especially in this season, given the kind of form that they're in. But yeah, of course, getting just a draw away from Chelsea will be very frustrating. But I think one or two positive aspects that Arsenal can really take from the game is Declan Rice is back, Odegaard is back. I think it was very ambitious of Arteta to start Odegaard right after he's back from injury. I mean, when you just get a player out of injury and you're starting him away in the 11, I think it's a little risky, given how physical the game has become.
Definitely.
I think he came on in the midweek as well for a few minutes.
Yeah, but I think he didn't start there.
He did not start.
Yeah,
he did
so
start.
he started yesterday against Chelsea.
But I'll pose a very, maybe controversial question to both of you guys. Do you think that time is running out for Mikel Arteta at Arsenal?
So let's go back to like 4 years back when Arteta signed, and I think first season he finished 8th, second season again 6th or something, and he nicked the FA Cup, like very lucky FA Cup I would call. Aubameyang scored in all the like semi-finals and finals, and that sort of got Arteta, kept Arteta in the job. So at that time I was like, he's not cut out for Premier League, he's not the man. But all the Arsenal fans, the whole support staff, the team as well, they were like, trust the process, and they have kept the faith in Arteta. But I think it's not about the process, it's about the mentality. That's my way of viewing things. And Arteta, as a manager, he does not have that winning mentality. He can play beautiful football, he can play the defensive football as well at times, but he's not there to challenge City or challenge Liverpool for title. He's not there for the Champions League nights. We saw in the midweek as well, they lost to Inter 1-0, and that was such an anti-football game.
Very cagey.
One penalty, and they had the ball for almost like half of the game, but still they could not create any chances. So that's the thing. You need someone ruthless, someone who knows how to win these types of games, and Arteta is not the guy for me.
Maybe, yeah. The point he made about mentality is actually very true. But then again, it boils down to the fact what do you consider as success at Arsenal? I mean,
fair point.
If you were to say that finishing second or third, if the Arsenal board is okay with it, क्यों नहीं भाई?
Actually, I've seen many times. Yeah, they used to come fourth and just nick the Champions League spots.
And Arsene Wenger was there for a very long time.
14 years. Yeah,
that's true. But I think it comes down to the mentality. That was kind of the point I was trying to make. Arteta, he does not have the charisma, the mentality to command the dressing room or to command the team to beat and take on the Man Cities and the Liverpools and to take them far into the Champions League. Definitely, he can make Arsenal better than the rest, but not better than the best.
Ooh.
That's
like the wordplay.
Yeah, it's a very it's a thin line. It's a fine line, and Arsenal just can't seem to cross it. At least with Arteta, and honestly, I don't see a lot of managers in the current scheme of things. Generally in football, who can do that. Maybe Flick at Barcelona is one of them. Slot is someone who, if you came to me last year and told me that he'd be somebody like that, I honestly would not know who he is. But I'd consider him to be one of those managers. Obviously there's Guardiola. Somebody like Ancelotti to an extent.
Yeah.
Those kind of guys are the people who have the mentality and the charisma to just command. How Klopp also did it at Liverpool. So in that sense, Arteta isn't there, and I feel honestly, in 7 years now at the club, only a Community Shield and as you mentioned, a very lucky FA Cup. Even the Community Shield, he was lucky to get it in penalties. It was Emi Martinez who had saved Arsenal there.
Right.
So I mean, if I am an Arsenal fan and we have finished second for the last 2 seasons running, I wouldn't be giving this guy more time. And I'm the type of guy who says that you should give managers more time.
Well,
if they want trophies, they need to go for a change.
But this is not the right time. See, because he has to finish.
I'm not saying mid-season, but I definitely think if Arsenal want to get serious about winning the big trophies, they need to start thinking forward.
Maybe. So I think that will come to know at the end of the season.
Yeah, at the end of the season.
But let's talk about current table toppers here. Liverpool flying high. Aston Villa को भी हरा दिया है यार. कैसा लग रहा है? How does it feel?
It's very good. It's one of the best games I've seen us play in a while, and it was actually very entertaining to watch. It was one of those few games in recent times that I've watched, and it isn't more about just passing the ball through. It was a lot of end-to-end passes from both the teams. The high intensity play, it was fun to watch. There's something I've missed during the Klopp times. Klopp plays a very reserved game, and this was some end-to-end passing, high adrenaline football. I really enjoyed it. Nunez's goal, obviously. Salah was fouled, that should have been a red card, obviously, if the advantage wasn't played.
Correct.
But an interesting thing, the referee was viewing it as a no foul initially. And so if Nunez hadn't scored, and let's assume that VR hadn't intervened,
which would have happened. Come on,
Yeah,
it's a
but-
Liverpool match.
Acha.
Right. No, go ahead.
But 115 charges किसी और के ऊपर लगे.
No, go ahead.
But so that would have ended up being a very poor refereeing call if it had actually happened. But yeah, Nunez scored a brilliant finish. I absolutely love the confidence that he's getting, and I really hope he hits the ground running now. But even Mohamed Salah, the goal, the celebration, give that man a goddamn contract.
Oh yeah, he's going really unnoticed. Yeah, 10 goals, 10 assists now
Yeah.
in 17 games. That's मतलब ऐसे stats में तो आर्सेनल वाले बोल देते हैं कि अरे भाई सीजन निकल गया. मार्टिनेली के साथ वही क्या कर रहे थे last
He
time.
has the most goals and assists in Premier League as well, 14 I think
I-
in Premier League.
Now, yeah.
I'll make a very controversial statement. On current form, this season, Mohamed Salah is the best player in the world. On current form, this season.
Controversial
He is the
statements.
best. He is the best.
Game time banter.
Not
We
really.
love it here. We like it here.
I mean, okay, maybe you can say he's somewhere in contention.
Who else would you say is in contention?
I mean-
17-year-old wonder kid.
The 17-year-old wonder kid, bro. I'll tell you, the 2 games that Lamine Yamal did not start is the 2 games Barca lost this time around. I'm not saying that it's because of him that Barca is winning every match, but the impact a 17-year-old can have on your team, I'm just mind blown by that.
I agree. I think it's his age that makes it more, you would say, bigger.
Plus, see, in football, it's like 1 week you are good, a couple of weeks you can say, okay, best player in the world. Bro, I think a couple of weeks back, Chris Wood was among the contentions for player of the month, I guess.
Yeah, but that way Salah from the first season itself, everybody has been saying one season wonder. वैसे करके भाई उसको 9 साल हो गए.
No, he
He has
has
been
been
very consistent.
He's one of the all-time Premier League में, if you count the all-time best wingers, he'll be right up there.
has to be there, definitely.
That's a Liverpool legend, I guess. You guys.
Definitely, of course, definitely. I think he's up there with the likes of Gerrard and those guys. So I mean, definitely.
I'm not even going to counter this, bro.
Yeah.
This is honestly, this
Yeah.
has to be there.
So I think on current form, I know it's a controversial statement to say, but I do feel on current form he's the best player in the world.
We'll let you enjoy your debate.
But the weekend only got better. Manchester City with their 4th consecutive loss.
For the first
Oh
ever
my
time
God.
in history, Pep Guardiola has now lost 4
That was-
games in a row.
I'll correct you. That was actually misinformation spread
Was
by
it?
the commentator. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that he has lost at Bayern Munich, and that was, I believe, in his last season at Bayern.
4 back-to-back losses.
Yeah, 4 back-to-back losses.
because this
His
is a
last
stat
season
that was
at
being
Bayern.
thrown around every
Yeah. I know it was. Most of the mainstream media was throwing this fact around, and actually, I had seen this tweet elsewhere that he actually has. It was actually on a community notes in Twitter. I ended up reading that he has lost 4 back-to-back games at Bayern in his last season.
But me and Avish, we were talking about this before the shoot. The statement that Pep Guardiola gave. What do you feel about that? Yeah?
That is so not like Pep. That is so
Yeah.
not like Pep. He was okay. He kind of just maybe it is a mind game because with Pep we have seen that, but he kind of has given up on the title race, like the so-called title race, because I think you have
That's
a
a
5-point lead.
Yeah, 5
And- But the statement itself, when he said ki we have won 6 out of the 7 years, so this year maybe a new
Some
champion.
other teams deserve a
some
chance,
other
yeah.
teams deserve a chance. That is such a Rohit Sharma statement to make.
Exactly. Drawing parallels to 12 साल में एक बार चल रहा है.
But no, that's completely mind games. I refuse to believe that a team like City and a manager like Pep Guardiola
These are old
giving up on a
wounds.
title race 11 games into the season.
Are these
Like a 5-point lead with a team like City honestly can evaporate like this. Like we were speaking
Yeah,
about it
no,
with
true.
Barcelona. वो 6 point का lead 9 points
जो था,
considering it suddenly when Real Madrid play that game in hand, suddenly it would disappear into thin air.
Yeah.
And so it's like that 5 points. Like you never know where it will go. वो खत्म हो जाएगा किधर ना किधर 2 draws from us and suddenly City are right there.
Of course, and maybe it's this international break is actually going to be a big boon to City to kind of regroup and see
Yeah.
what's happening, what's going wrong. Because I feel now, पहले तो we were joking about it कि no Rodri, no party करके,
Yeah.
but I think now their problems have gone beyond that.
Yeah.
It's not just the absence of Rodri now.
Yeah.
It has to be more things.
But talking about the experiment that he did with the backline, playing Walker
As the third centre back, yeah.
Yeah, and the back four also included two youngsters. It
Hmm.
was Rico Lewis, I think the guy.
No, I think it was a back three of Guardiola, Walker, and the new guy. I think Rico Lewis, the one you mentioned.
No, so it was a back four. Rico Lewis, Walker, Simpson Pusse, and Guardiola.
Yeah.
Those were the back four, and that had two youngsters and Walker playing as a centre back.
As a centre back.
Yeah. So, what do you think of that experiment?
I mean, this isn't the first time Pep brings up some crazy tactic
Yeah.
from
We
nowhere.
discussed about it. Pep is going to do some experiments to get that Rodrigo situation, to manage that. But let's see. Abhi to these experiments are not working, but maybe in long term they might.
They might. You
Yeah.
never know with Pep.
The
You never
season
know.
is long.
But give that flowers to Brighton. What
Yeah.
that comeback? It was so good.
Joao
And
Pedro coming after 6 months
Yeah.
after injury and just making a big statement.
Yeah.
Of course.
a
And
goal
I-
and an assist.
And I was not expecting this from Brighton after De Zerbi left. Because I thought De Zerbi was, that guy that would restore Brighton back to, getting to the glory days and all.
Yeah.
After he left, I was like, probably Brighton is now just going to have an off season, go back down. But yeah, crazy. But if you look at the PL table overall, dude,
It's crazy.
Nottingham Forest is on fourth.
Fourth.
Oh
They are having a
my God.
crazy season.
Nuno Espirito Santos.
Yeah.
He has the experience.
Yeah, of
And-
course.
He did this a few years ago with Wolves as well.
That's-
He has the
He did a double over Pep, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, double over Pep.
The season
It was the
Wolves.
season
Yes.
we won the title.
Yeah.
Those two losses for City actually from Wolves were pretty instrumental in allowing us to make the gap bigger. But yeah, so he has the experience of taking these small teams, not small teams, but making
Yeah,
them
relatively
explode at the
smaller
top.
teams. Yeah.
Yeah, putting them on the top half of the table. So I don't expect Nottingham Forest to end up in the top 4 end of season. Maybe in the top.
I'll
6.
make a ambitious bet and say that they might actually be there in the top 4. The top 4, the top 6, sorry.
The top 6, yeah, top
Yeah.
6 is
Top 6 and nowadays
considerable.
it's top 8 if you count the Conference
Yeah, I
League.
would
So
say. Yeah.
they might play
Chelsea
Europe.
fans have to count. अब क्या करें?
Yeah.
Top 8 is the new top 6 guys.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, getting the European exposure next year, it would be huge for some club like Nottingham.
Nottingham
Yeah.
Forest.
Because
I
they
mean,
got promoted
remember
last
Nottingham.
That's last year.
Nottingham, remember they are 2-time Champions League winners.
Yeah.
They aren't a small club totally.
Yeah, occasional
yeah.
winners, but
No, that was the historical time.
Historical
Ah,
times.
Shots
So,
at
yeah,
Arsenal.
They are the imposter in the. I think there was that meme going around in the top 4 or
Aston
the
Villa
top
has a
5.
couple of Champions League.
Aston
Nottingham
Villa.
has, Chelsea has.
Chelsea
I
has.
remember that Narendra Modi wala meme. Beta
जय जैसी आप नीचे आइए बेटा प्लीज बेटा आप नीचे आइए
नीचे उतरो. Beta नीचे उतरो.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's that. So I mean, Nottingham Forest, they are doing well. Your clubs like Aston Villa are doing well. Brighton are obviously there.
Newcastle, they have done it for
Newcastle-
the last 2-3 years.
Newcastle, I mean, yeah, they are not in the relegation battle, but for the amount of investment they have had, you would expect.
More
The
from them,
expectation was that they'd be finishing top 4 consistently. So-
Last year they finished 7th, I guess. And
Yeah.
so
This
before
season-
that it was 4th.
Before that, they were 4th. They were in the Champions League in the season that. But now one team that we haven't touched upon actually, we forgot Manchester United with the
New manager bounce.
charm, bro.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Rude Van Nistelroy has done them a great service, obviously.
No losses.
Yeah, no
In
losses.
his tenure.
Yeah, that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but yeah.
Just 4 games, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, the match in itself was, I think it was decent as a game. They had those moments where, a while ago in one of the videos I mentioned that Man United did not look like a unit. They did not, they just looked like 11 individual players on the pitch.
Correct, yeah.
This match wasn't where they entirely looked as a team, but there were those moments where they looked like a unit together on the pitch, and those were the moments where they got the goals. You could make that out. You could make that difference out. And so I think that's something that going into the next tenure with Ruben Amorim stepping in, I think that's a positive for them.
Yeah, and
in
this
that
just
way.
shows that how bad things were when Ten Hag was there. The dressing room was completely a mess. Players were not completely feeling, to play for the badge. They were not actually doing that, and that's why it's very difficult, to assess how a new manager, how will he.
I was just going to say that.
But funnily enough, sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt. Funnily enough, this has been said for every single manager that has left Man United in the last few years. He did not have the dressing room, and he was shit.
I mean, hopefully Amorim will be the one who will change that, because
Hopefully not. नहीं चाहिए भाई.
but not, I don't want to be salty about it, but I think me and Avish were talking about this as well, that when Amorim Sporting defeated City in the UCL, United fans had
My
flooded.
timeline was filled with United fans celebrating that win, and I actually had to put up wasn't United playing on Thursday night?
So I think it is going to be, the grass is only going to get greener for United with Amorim coming in. That would be, I'm actually excited to see Amorim at United, to be very honest.
If you look at his record in Sporting this season, 11 games, 33 points, and a goal difference of 34.
Of course.
And
of course, there he has a player like Victor Gyökeres. Here he has Rashford.
Yeah.
and
वो drop off ऐसा
guys-
बड़ा है.
Xerxes
and Højlund and who not?
So I think that is where Amorim's ability as a manager will kind of come out. He will be able to see whether he's able to get the best out of the
Plus
players
the
he
pressure
has.
of Premier League. It's not going to be easy.
It's not the same as coaching.
And
of
the
course.
moment he's joining, it's going to be a tough, because there are no international breaks till January, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So he will have the hard time, Christmas and the New Year fixtures. It's very congested.
Boxing Day and then going into the January
that would be
transfer
very
window.
difficult
That is a very crucial period.
He already announced, I think, in the January window, he's not going to be signing any Sporting players.
Yeah,
Gyökeres coming in at January is not happening.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
No, but
Sporting
that's
उसको
very
मारेगा यार पकड़
good,
के.
No, that's a very good thing. It's a touch of respect for his.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If he were to try and do that, Sporting would literally वो लोग पकड़ के मारेंगे.
Not a lot of managers do that, because I remember Ten Hag bringing the whole Ajax team.
वो तो then live Dion के पीछे भी
Everyone does that. Even Maresca got someone from Leicester, I think.
Maresca got
Yeah, but you
somewhere from everyone.
yes, सही था. But yeah, I mean, that's it for our weekend recap. We did speak about Rohit's statement, you know, and
Rohit Sharma's
वो
statement.
Test cricket का कुछ आ रहा है. Something's in the works. But yeah, that's it for us on Game Time Banter. See you guys next time.